Hello and welcome, my dear students of ICSE Class 10th. Look at this question, a very good competency level question. This is question number 11 of the competency series which we are doing for ICSE Class 10 students. If you have not watched the previous questions of the series, you can check the link given in the description box of this video. So let us see this question, let us understand this question, a very good question from chapter 1, force. The diagram shows wheel O pivoted at point A. So you can see this is a wheel O and it is pivoted at point A. Be very careful, the pivot is not at O, the pivot is at A. It is written pivoted at point A. Okay, so this is the pivot. Unlike most other questions where the pivot generally lies at the center, here it is not that case. Three equal forces F1, F2, F3 are acting at point B on the wheel. Very easy. So you can see that there are three forces. F1, very clear from the photo. F1, F2, F3. Three forces are there. And one second. Yeah, three forces are there and they are equal in magnitude. The question tells this. You can see the question is already telling this, that these three are equal forces. Okay, they are equal forces and they are acting at which point? Point B on the wheel. Very simple. The question is, which force will produce the maximum moment about A? So from this point A or about this point A, which force is going to produce the maximum moment? So A is the pivot. So about this pivot, which force is producing the maximum moment? Now moment formula is force multiplied with the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force from the pivot. Simple. So since these three forces F1, F2, F3 are equal, so we have to only see the distance, the perpendicular distance of each of these three forces from the pivot. Whichever force is at a maximum distance from the pivot, that force is going to produce the maximum moment. So let us draw the lines of action of force. That is, I am using three different colors so that you understand. For force F1, I will use the green color. Let me zoom the photo. Yeah. For F1, I am using the green color. This is the line of action of force. Line of action of force means the line on which the force is acting. For F2, the line of action of force is this. About this, on this line, force F2 is acting. And I am using the pink color to show the line of action of force F3. So I have drawn the three lines of actions of force, each of the forces. Now I have to see the perpendicular distance from the pivot on this lines of actions of force. So for force F1, I am drawing a perpendicular line on F1's line of action of force. This is the 90 degree formed over here. Perpendicular distance I'm taking, I'm looking for this particular distance, okay, from the pivot and on the line of action of force. That is the D, no? Similarly, for force F2, I have to draw another perpendicular on F2's line of action of force. So this particular, one second. Yeah, this particular is the 90 degree formed. Similarly, I will draw on the pink line a perpendicular. You see this? This is again 90 degree. So now it is very easy to identify which is the largest length. Whether this distance or this distance or this distance. Which distance is largest? Which force is acting at a largest perpendicular distance from the pivot? Very easy, F1. F1 is at a largest distance, largest perpendicular distance from the pivot A. So F1 is producing the largest moment. Now you can also tell me which force is producing the smallest moment. That is this pink line, no? So that is F3. F3 is at the smallest perpendicular distance from the pivot A. So F3 is producing the smallest moment. So the question is asking which is producing the maximum moment. So very simple, it is F1. They are asking give a reason. So you can say force F1 is at the largest, or you can say greatest perpendicular distance from the pivot A. So that is why it produces the largest moment. So my dear students, if you are understanding these videos which I am putting regularly, the competency focused questions, today was our question 11. If you are enjoying these competency questions, I also want to tell you that I am doing live structured course on Zoom. The course has already started. We have only done a few classes. If you want to join that live online course with me on Zoom app, I take live classes in a week. The course is very structured and the whole syllabus will be completed with lots of questions, worksheets, tests. So if you want to join my live classes, you can contact me on my number 9430707881. You have to WhatsApp me on this number. So I will give you all the details. So that's all. We will see you in the next video. Take care.